the strategic success framework. We're using the word strategic, and here's why. Several people said, well, Jim, we don't know what you're going to talk about. Robert never knew what I was going to talk about. So I said, all right, let's come up with a word. Each word represents 1 week. They're the words: scrutiny, targeting, etc., etc. You don't need to have me read it to you, but in essence, we're going to have 4 sessions that are going to lead you into the change that takes place the first week of February. In the first week of February, our session will cut off at 1 hour. Then the people that are members will be given a password to come back and re-enter for the second hour. Now, as I went through that, I started saying, well, these guys, yeah, $50 a month. It's, 10, $12 a week. That's a Starbucks. We need to make the offer so compelling that it becomes what I always refer to as a no-brainer. So let me just walk you through this. Do you know about your future? See the picture? It's a little fuzzy. That's not clear. Your future is not clear. My future is different than your future. Robert's future is different, etc. I have become hyper-focused on AI tools for business and then laser focused on taking that down to hospitality, tourism, and restaurants. Why? Because it's the second largest employer outside the US government. And I have a huge background in it. But for the last year, I was ignoring it. I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't doing what I talk about, which was hire Jim as a consultant to consult on Jim to tell Jim what he should be doing in 2025. So when I looked back at where I got some of my bigger clients and my bigger businesses, I kept coming up with names like MGM, Wynn Las Vegas, Hyatt, Ritz-Carlton. I'm like, I haven't been talking to these people. Shame on me. Why? Because, like everybody else, I just kind of moved away and went for the more low-hanging fruit. So part of the scrutiny is to analyze the opportunities. Part of it is to take that and target those opportunities. As Tom says, pick 25 people. 25 people for most of us is a huge number of people to do business with. But that's not 25 people that are what I refer to as psychic vampires. They're going to suck the information out of you. They're not going to pay you a penny. And the moment you stop doing it, they're going to go away. So you need to build relationships. You need to build trust. I may be wrong, but I believe that I have built trust with the group that's here. You keep coming back. Most people have said, gee, the stuff that I get from you guys is better than anywhere else, etc. And yet I hear people saying, well, I paid $10,000 to do this or $15,000 to do this. And I always the same question. What'd you get for it? Let me get back to you. Think about how much money, time, and effort you have wasted. I have wasted. We've all wasted because we went for the bright, shiny penny when those don't exist. It's still a matter of hard work. It's still a matter of do the heavy lifting. So if you look at these 4 things, we talk about technology, we talk about execution. But I think all of those are growth and innovation. You want to cultivate your own mindset before you can cultivate somebody else's mindset. Do you drink your own Kool-Aid? Do you believe in what you're doing is worthwhile? Do you believe it provides benefits? And are you constantly updating it, or is it just, hey, it worked 5 years ago, it must still be working now? And the truth is, it's not. And then how do you communicate that? And the communication comes back from something as obvious as using ChatBridge to grab the chats out of Zoom, organize them into who said what to whom. Then you've got something. What do you do with it? And ta-da, there's Engage Pro. An engaged row says, okay, you've built a folder for Maury, you built a folder for Tom, etc. Well, you open up the folder and you go, wow, Tom's folder is full, Maury's folder is full. Then you open up a folder for, let's say, Digi. Digi and I have never talked. If I open up a folder for him, it's empty. So I don't know what he does. I don't know how we would interact. He may be the best resource I've never known. So because he's here, I may reach out to him and say, can we just chat? Can I get a better idea of what you're doing and how you're doing it? It may not be a fit. But if you stay laser focused, if you scrutinize your time and your effort, I promise you it will pay off. Now, you've got to know your products, plain and simple. You've got to understand the risk reward, and you've got to ask tough questions. Now, if you're not willing to do all of those things, then once again, you're wasting time, energy, and effort. So as we start to think about the second hour, I said, what happens if knowing your products was you had to memorize it? Well, maybe we find somebody to come over and teach us how to memorize better. Maybe we need to find somebody in the financial side to talk about our pricing model. Those are tools that are out there that make it all the much better for us to do what we want to do, which is run a business. And you have to evaluate the risks and you got to evaluate the rewards. Now, you've heard me say, I hunt elephants, not rabbits. Well, it's taken longer to hunt the elephants. And so in the meantime, I looked at, let's just call a speaker a rabbit. I'm a rabbit. Why? Because a rabbit typically is getting one thing. It's feeding one meal. Speakers don't get residuals from speaking generally. They get residuals when they use the speaking to get consulting, when they use the speaking to sell products, when they use the speaking to sell their books. But in terms of speaking, I can knock it out of the park, be the best speaker they've ever had, and they typically won't hire me back the next year because, oh, well, I heard Feldman last year. Well, do you think Feldman had some other piece of information? No, I already heard Feldman. So understand your business model and constantly evaluate the risks and the rewards that you're taking. And then ask yourself the questions again, assessing your strengths and identifying your areas of improvement. And so as I wrap this up, I'm going to say to you, stay for the second hour, and I'm going to give you a book. Book is about 90 pages. I sell the book for $50. It's a guide to selling your products and services. There will be one idea, one paragraph, one section that will give you an aha. And that aha ought to be worth you sticking around and staying for the second half. But I'm not going to give it in the first half because you've gotten so many benefits already. And with that, I'll turn it over to Robert.